There's been some massive problems in China with EV companies lately. In fact, an American company just bailed out one of the biggest EV manufacturers in China with $1 billion. But that story aside, Li Auto is considered one of the biggest Chinese EV success stories over the last few years. However, investors believe the company has basically lied to people by saying demand for its vehicles, in particular, its brand new, very impressive electric car, well, basically saying demand was far higher than what it really was. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Really appreciate your support. And also YouTube members. If you want to see some of our videos a couple of days in advance, you can. I'll put a link in the description below. So Li Auto, I'm sure you've heard of them. If you haven't, they're one of the big three in China. The big three are XPeng, NIO, and Li Auto. Now, are they the three biggest EV makers in China? Of course not. They're not even close. It's just that for some reason, they've been the most well-spoken about, the most known companies, but they're certainly not the most successful. Li Auto, though, of those three, NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto, of those three, Li Auto has sold the most cars, has actually lost the least amount of money. It's been the biggest success story. But when it brought out its brand new EV, which, by the way, I think is phenomenal, I really don't like the look of it, but it's phenomenal. It's probably the best. I said this to my wife recently. We were watching a video on this car. XPeng's new electric vehicle. It's a van. It's an MPV. It just doesn't look good, but it is actually the most purpose-built, logical vehicle probably ever made. It's incredible. It actually is an incredible kind of tour de force of a car, but people don't like the way it looks. They're not buying it. And investors are saying Li Auto has essentially lied about the perceived demand from consumers. That Li Auto was saying, it's true that Li Auto did hype up this vehicle, saying, oh, it's huge demand for this vehicle. And it turns out it's actually been a bit of a flop. It's quite an expensive vehicle, and it just doesn't look, I mean, it's really shaped for aerodynamics. It's brilliant for aerodynamics, but people don't like the way it looks as a result. Now, investors are saying the company has essentially misled them. Li Auto is responding by saying that the allegations are baseless and it will do its utmost to protect the company and shareholders' rights, according to a report by local media outlet Sina Tech. Another local media outlet, Cake Sin, also reported on the class lawsuit, noting that similar class action lawsuits are common in the United States. So don't worry, Li Auto, it's common in the US. I'm not sure that's going to help them. Li Auto unveiled the Li Mega on the first day, which is actually its first fully electric car, first day of the 2023 Guangzhou Auto Show on November 17, 2023, and began pre-sales of the model. The company's previous models were all plug-in hybrids. On March 1 this year, the Li Mega went on sale with a starting price of $77,600 US, making it the company's most expensive vehicle, but it's also the biggest, and it has a lot of range. It's got some really, really nice technology. Charging speed's incredible, 500 kilowatt charging speed. You're talking range of a large vehicle of more than 700 kilometers. At the start of the pre-sale, as well as the official launch, Li Auto's management emphasized the company's extreme confidence that the Li Mega would be the #1 seller of models priced above $75,000 US, regardless of energy form or body style. But honestly, I think Li Auto had to have known at the time that was never going to happen. The truth is, large SUVs or large MPVs that look like SUVs, think like Zeekr's new electric, it's an MPV, but it looks like an SUV, they sell much better than MPVs that look like a van. People don't really want that. Now, some people buy them, but it's definitely not the largest segment of selling vehicles. So Li Auto's claims, to be fair to investors, were never really possible because they would have had to have basically broken out of their market segment and had people kind of this vehicle would have had to have redefined the entire industry because realistically, they just don't, this segment of vehicle isn't the best seller in what they were claiming it would be. So I can kind of understand where Li Auto's coming from. They thought it was a revolutionary vehicle, but also investors thinking, hang on a minute, you told us this vehicle is going to be selling tens of thousands and demand is minuscule compared to what you claimed it would be. And that's what investors are saying here. In an interview with local media, one of the company's executives said the Li Mega will challenge the monthly sales of 8,000 units after its launch. That didn't happen. The Li Mega was met with a lot of negative comments, in particular about its style, and initial acceptance has been far less than expected. Li Auto lowered its delivery guidance for the first quarter to between 76,000 to 78,000 units, down from over 100,000. Now, I don't believe it's going to hit that guidance either. As a result of this, though, as a result of this vehicle kind of failing to actually get any sales traction, Li Auto's US traded shares fell by 7 or nearly 8% on the 21st of March and have been down 21% since the 20th of March. Investors are saying, you've misled us. Now, are they right? No. I mean, honestly, if you're an investor, you've got to do your due diligence. You've got to do your due diligence. You can't assume that this was going to be some amazing selling vehicle when MPVs never really have been. Could this EV pick up sales? Maybe. But as an investor, I don't think it's fair to blame a company. You've got to do your research. You're responsible for your investment decisions. And even if a company claims it's going to get massive sales, don't listen to them. Lordstown Motors, they did this too. Alpha Motor Group, whatever they do, they don't make anything real. They've made claims that they've got pre-orders for 80,000 vehicles that don't even exist and probably never will. Don't invest with these companies. They're insane. They're fraudsters. And not saying Li Auto is. They're not fraudsters. They make real products. But talking pre-orders and investing in a company based on pre-orders is crazy. Look what Nikola said about their pre-orders. Look what Lordstown Motors said. Look what Ford said. Ford said they had more than 200,000 pre-orders for the F-150 Lightning. And what happened to all those? Where are they all gone? They all disappeared. Now, don't get me wrong, the F-150 Lightning is still selling, but it's not selling to pre-order holders. It's selling to people just coming along and buying a car. So of those 230,000 pre-orders, whatever Ford said they had, apparently more than 90% have cancelled. Anyway, you make up your own mind on that one, but let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Bye-bye.